Today, I'm showing you how it doesn't really matter what kind of components you buy, as long as you pick the right CPU and GPU, that you're probably better off just saving your money. Now, this is true, of course, to an extent, and only under a certain price point. However, if you're building a very cheap gaming computer, that's something that's very important to keep in mind. So welcome back at ImWateringPSUs, and let's get straight into it. Now, what I have here today is a PC you could very well put together for under 1,000 bucks, quite a bit under it. Now, of course, pricing is gonna depend a lot on your location, but I'd say on average you can spend about $800 for a PC like this, which is gonna perform really well. Of course, you have to build it yourself and to buy stuff that's on a good deal. Very often when I recommend a certain motherboard or a certain RAM kit, it's good when I bought it, but you need to find the better value for money one in your market the day you're buying it. But in my videos, I try to explain how to find it. But anyways, let's actually start with the build. So this is based around the Intel Core Ultra 5 225F, the i5 225F, which currently, in my opinion, is the best value CPU in the market, on the brand new market overall, because usually the best value one is always a cheap one because there is a diminishing curve with pricing and value, and this is the cheapest option from Intel. They don't make i3s anymore, and it's surprisingly fast. In terms of pure IPC, this, just to put it into perspective, is dramatically faster in single thread than an i9 12900K, and even faster than a 13900K. Only gets really beat by 14th gen Intel with the latest IPC gains, but this is really fast single thread. Then of course it's just a 6-core CPU, but it's probably gonna be plenty for gaming and also for light productivity. Key with this is this CPU doesn't draw any power at all. Now yes, you can actually unlock it undervolting and get more performance out of it, but that you can do regardless of how good your motherboard is, because the CPU is that efficient. So just go out there and buy the cheapest motherboard you could find. I bought the worst motherboard I could find. It's an ASRock model. I don't recommend it, but if you can buy it for 60, 70 bucks, like I bought it, buy it. Because it's a B860M H2 is the name of the model, and it's just a regular B860 with all the features you need for undervolting to enable the XMP on your RAM and whatever you need. But it has zero VRM cooling, very little expandability, single PCIe slot, single NVMe slot, very little I/O, but still has internal USB-C, internal USB 3.0, USB 3.1 in the back. I mean, literally, if you buy a 1,000 bucks motherboard instead of this, you're gonna get the same FPS with this CPU. Of course, things would change if we had an unlocked CPU and we were overclocking a very good kit of RAM, but that's not the case here today. And also your experience daily really wouldn't change. Yes, you may have a few extra USB ports free, but it doesn't really change, you know? You may want to have a better LAN port, that's something to consider, but that aside, this is all you need. Now, we went with the cheapest RAM I could find, which today it was some Corsair Vengeance RAM. As you can see, I bought a 40GB kit, but I only installed 16, and I'm gonna be using the other 16 for another build, because nowadays with pricing and everything, we have to keep the cost down, and 16GB of RAM is plenty, and on DDR5 you don't really need the dual channel, so a single stick is plenty fine. I also found a Kingston MV3 NVMe SSD for a good price. Those are very good in Italy currently, and half a terabyte definitely isn't much, but it's gonna be enough for your favorite few games, your OS, a few files. So as SSDs are pretty expensive, we can make do with it fine. Now here's where things get interesting. You could actually get away with using the stock cooler on the CPU, but today I picked this Mars Gaming all-in-one water cooler. It's the ML2 240, and it's actually very good, very easy to install and extremely cheap. However, Mars Gaming mostly distributes in Europe, so if you're from Europe, I'm from Italy, as you guys know, this is fully recommended. It also looks very well and is overall pretty premium. Only ones are very cheap nowadays, and if you buy one, you're gonna have a cooler system, much cooler looking, cooler in terms of CPU temperature, and you can then undervolt and unlock your CPU a little bit more, which I think is good. And you're also able to do a few extra upgrades, but that's not really what we're focusing on the build here today. So this cooler from Mars Gaming, I'm gonna quickly show you the 5-stroke result and actually spoil the performance, but as you can see, CPU is topping out at 60 degrees, and we are currently in summer in Italy, and there are 30 degrees ambient environment, so this is a really good result. Now, I went with Mars Gaming for the case as well, because if you've been following my Become a PC Flipper series, you will know that aesthetic is what sells computers. And this case from Mars Gaming, the MC Infinilite, is extremely cheap. I'm talking like the only one is like 50 bucks and the case is less than 50 bucks. And yeah, it comes with no fans, so I just put a Valkyria fan on the back, but it has curved glass on top, and you have to side mount the only one, but it makes for such a unique look, which made this PC sell really fast. This is actually pre-sold, so I'm really happy. And it's also pretty spacious to work in, and the cable management comes by itself, so I was pretty happy with it. Now, for the 5060, I actually recommend you guys buy the cheapest one you could find. Here I have an Asus one. It's actually a good model. It's wasted money if you paid anything extra for it, but the market on entry-level 5060s in the brand new market is a little weird. So I was able to pay like the same price I would have paid for the cheapest one I could find for this. So I just bought this because it's a little bit cooler looking, right? And also cooler in performance, so it's fine. But not worth the money. Just buy the cheapest option, fine. And for the power supply, you can actually save even more money. So here we have a Cougar unit. It's the Atlas. It's ATX 3.1, PCIe 5.1. It has kinda like, yeah, sleeved cables. I want to say they're not really sleeved, but good, cool looking cables. And it's 700 watts, 80 plus bronze. This is a pretty good unit. And I got it because I paid like 10 bucks more than the cheapest PSU I could find. So for 10 bucks, it's worth the difference. But generally, for a build like this, 500 watts is plenty. And this can do literally anything you need. You can save your money there. Basically, yeah, RAM, cooling, motherboard quality, all those things, and of course the custom model of your GPU, they all impact performance. But when we are on the low end, we don't really care. Almost every time, it's just better to save your money, buy the cheapest product, and if you don't plan on upgrading, or at least if you do this reasonably, it's gonna be the best choice. So this I'm actually doing a lot for clients, and I don't wanna end up being one of those shops that like makes terrible computers and just sells them for the price. But if you save your money in a smart way and you stop doing this after a certain price, of course, I think this is key to proper PC building and also key to making good PC for yourself, because you don't want to like overspend on your motherboard and then finish the money for a better GPU. That's the main mistake you can make. So with that said, I want you guys to let me know what you think down below. Is this a good gaming PC? Would you buy it, or you think I just got it all wrong? Let me know down below. If you watched the video this far, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. You can also now become a member to support the channel. Bye bye.